I thought, why don't I go live and let me help with some Q&As that you may have about me doing my first retwist. Actually, let me let you into a secret. I use the word retwist because that's the most commonly recognizable term or word in the lock community for um, um, I guess manipulating your locks in some shape or form, or giving it a different look, or making it more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, for those who think it has to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, that type of thing. Cleaning it up, tidying it up, all of that great stuff. So that's why I use the word retwist. But in actual fact, my stylist didn't do a retwist. Now, why did I get a retwist done? That wasn't something that I chose to go do. I am a runway model as well as many other things that I do. So I had a gig, a show, not so long ago, not my first show, and the designers, literally all the models, whether you're male or female, we all had our hair done and um, cleaned up and tidied up and just, dressed up and beautified and all sorts. I happen to be one of two people amongst maybe, I want to say about 50 models who has locks. And there's another lady who has locks. She has, they are maintained. From where I was standing, they were maintained. So hers were styled, and I think maybe they may have even been retwisted a little bit for her. But mine weren't retwisted at all. Mine were basically the parts, the bushy parts, the parts or the partings that, yeah, the partings that had become, I guess, bushy over 5 years. Greetings. Thank you so much, Victor, for joining. Good afternoon. Welcome. So what happened was those parts were cleaned up, separated to give me, the lines. Anyway, so that's the reason why I had to have that done, because I had a job that I was doing on the runway, and the designers and the organizers wanted a certain look, and so that's just how that came about. Now, onto the Q&A questions that you may have. So you may ask me now, do I still consider myself to be a freeform lock wearer? Absolutely. Alison, thank you for joining. Um, hello. So you may ask me if I'm still a freeform lock wearer, and what I consider, or you might say, oh, well, if you've done this, you've done this. I still consider myself to be a freeform lock wearer 100%, because I can't wait for the parts to go back, to the bushiness, really. Yeah, I can't wait for it to go back to the bushiness that it was. But it's nice to have it the way it is. It really is nice to have it the way it is. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. So maybe the second question you're going to ask, what did they add? What products did they use? So I recall that the hairstylist used some oil. So that's the first time in 5 years. The first time in 5 years that I'm having my parts cleaned up. Because when I started my freeform locks, I didn't start with any parts. I just let the hair do its own thing. So in 5 years, I'm just for the first time cleaning it up, and a professional was doing it for me, and she was really good, to be honest. And so she used oil, so she oiled my scalp, and yeah, and then she used some gel. She used clear gel, and she used, I think, brown or black gel. um, and I haven't seen any flaking whatsoever. She also used some gel on my edges to create baby hairs, but guess what? All of the baby hairs have disappeared after a few days. Whatever gel she used kind of just melted away, and I literally washed it off when I was in the shower, and then that was it. So it didn't leave any flaking. I haven't seen one sign of any flakiness, which to me gives me an indication that she really used some decent products. She really only oiled my scalp, and I think maybe if there was any oil left in her hair, she might have used that to just pass it through the surface of the rest of my locks. So that was that. And then obviously she used all these custom gold accessories just to add some more depth to it, and I guess maybe keep together some of the tiny new baby locks that I have in my hair. So that was that. What else? Was it painful? Absolutely. Imagine separating your roots on dry hair. And that was one thing that was missing. There were no water-based product or water that she could have used to, she didn't have any to hand to spray on my scalp to even give me a little bit of relief. So it was painful, I have to be honest. It was painful separating it. Yeah. That's another thing. So going forward, you might also ask, going forward, are you going to maintain, separating the partings and stuff like that? No, I'm not going to do that. Not of my own accord. If work comes up and I have to, then so be it. But for me, no. I am looking forward and excited to going back to having those parts looking bushy. I like it because I also have fine hair. So whilst it's nice, it makes my scalp look kind of um, overexposed. Like I feel like it feels overexposed, which is not really the idea behind me having freeform locks. I don't want, and I think it gives my scalp a kind of protection. So what else? Oh yeah, being a fine-haired woman and being tender-headed is one of also the reasons why I decided to freeform lock my hair, because then I don't have to do any manipulation. So obviously, when she was separating the hair, um, and if this is close to my roots, this is close to my scalp. This is hair on my scalp that she's separating, and it's dry. There's no product in it. I'd washed it maybe a couple of days before, and what was I going to say? Yeah, it was it was painful. Yeah, so my scalp being tender-headed just reminded me why I actually like being a free-from lock wearer, because of that tender-headedness. I if I look back, going through, excuse me, going through most of my life from birth up until age 17. I think I might have been 17 when I first had my hair done. First time in my entire life. Never braided, never wore weaves, never wore anything. Just kept my hair in a low cut. All through primary school, I had an afro, and through high school, I had an afro as well. So you can imagine, um, and I could have grown it out if I wanted to, but I didn't. Because even going to the barbers to get my hair cut sometimes, that in itself was even painful. So, you get people that really just have a tender scalp. And I happen to be one of those. So I don't like anything being pulled on my hair. When I was a loose natural, I think I can count on the tip of the fingers of one hand how many times I sat down to get my hair braided. The sitting for hours, even if it takes 10 minutes, just that pulling kind of just puts me off. So I think that's the main questions. But if you have any questions to ask me about the process, yeah. So this part is got rubber bands. So basically, what she did was just separate the parts, yeah, and then pull all the hair in, brush it, and then find one lock, and then she just added everything, and then put rubber band, and then literally just use the gold custom things to keep the hair down. So as you can see, this one is getting puffy already. I think I'm been standing under a tree. This one is getting puffy already. Can you see that? The puffiness is all the hair that was sort of towards my scalp. And you see all of that here. So I've got leaves in my hair. I was standing under a tree or so, so the leaves would falling in my hair. So can you see all that? Yeah, this is all loose hair. So, and there's a rubber band somewhere here, and that's for every lock. So when I'm ready, I'm just gonna remove this rubber band here and then release it. And it'll be interesting to see what it looks like actually. It will be very, very interesting to see what it looks like. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What else? Let me see with any other questions. I'll probably give it a wash when I take out the rubber bands. But I can't see no flakiness whatsoever. I really like that because I thought there would be a lot of flaking, but there's no flaking. So I'm so happy with that because that would have just put me off. I'd be like, what did she add? So I'm really appreciative of that. It was an experience. And yes, if I have another runway show to do and I'm required to, tidy up, yeah, by all means, I will let them do it. It's hair, right? It's hair. It's important to me, but it's hair. One last thing I wanted to say, which actually um, when I was having it done, the stylist asked me, she said to me, um, she said, she was asking me in such a coy way. She was like, she found it a little bit difficult to ask me. She was like, oh, do you mind, I think she was struggling with one of them. She was like, oh, do you mind, can I cut? I was like, no, don't cut anything, please. you know, and nobody had a haircut there, not that I can see. No one had any haircut. So I said, no, if you can. And she was so good about it. She was so, so good about it. She was like, okay. I thought as much. I think she said something along the lines of, I thought as much anyway. But she was just asking. I says, no, this is taking me 5 years to grow. So please just do your best, work with what you've got. And it all turned out really, really nice. It turned out really nice. So um, I'll put a link to the final look somewhere. I'll put it maybe in the comment section so you can check it out and see what the final look looked like on the runway. I'll put it in the comment section as a link to take you to either my Instagram or my Facebook so you can see how it looks. And we've got more photos and videos coming through anyway after the show. So it's just a few days after the show, but everyone is in high spirits. So we're waiting for all the footage to come through. Yeah, so, but what I've got right now, I will put it in the link for you to see it yourself. All right. So if you have any more questions for me about what I had done to my locks after 5 years, 5 years, I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Hopefully, um, I'll be able to go another 5 years before I get it done. But I doubt it for some reason. For some reason, I doubt that's going to happen because um, I know it's going to get busier within the model life or modeling life that I'm in, and with that happening, stylists will have to do their magic, and do something with my hair. Okay, then. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being in the house, and yeah. See you in another live broadcast, or maybe see you in another short or in the community post. All right. Ciao, ciao.